Alright, finally, we are back.
Yeah, we're just couldn't figure out how to open up the recording tab.
Yeah, for 3 weeks. Was that 3 weeks? No, that was a 2-week break.
I have no
Whatever.
idea.
We've earned it. We've been working hard lately.
Have we?
No, not really. I have.
Oh.
I'm not sure about you. I don't babysit you.
Oh. Well, that's irresponsible.
Who's that guy that, watches me everywhere I go?
You know what kind of shenanigans I get up to when I know I'm not supervised?
Cleans me regularly. See.
With his tongue. It's a big toe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dang, look how small it is on this one, but it's like...
Perspective's off.
Yeah, this is not very...
Why do you have this as your background?
I just have a bunch of pictures that it shifts through.
Yeah, why'd you pick this as one of them?
Who cares?
I cares.
Let's get into some important stuff before we get to all this filler nonsense. And because I want to pad out the time a bit before we get to the story that I really want to talk about. I set this timer for 15 minutes every time, but I'm learning that, most YouTubers only follow 30 seconds until they start cursing.
Really?
Yes, but some of them will follow 10 minutes. The rules make literally no sense. People will just bounce around, and it, depends on whether or not YouTube likes you, basically, what rules you need to follow.
Nice.
The definitive rule, though, is that if you curse within 30 seconds, then the whole video is unmonetizable.
Lovely. I love that.
Children are able to hear cursing that 30 seconds in, though. Then their innocence is saved.
Yeah, it's like Christian rules. As long as you do it in the butt, it doesn't count.
Speaking of butts, see, I don't know why I...
Is this official? Did Fallout officially...
No.
Okay.
This game character's AI. This person went ahead and altered this with AI. I think there was a thread of them doing this. Where the heck did that go?
I was gonna say, there's something very odd, very off about that second picture.
What do you mean?
The fact that it looks plastic?
Yeah, I like that the parts that were touched up by the AI now look completely fake and tacked on.
Yeah. Also, why would you do this? Is it really that important to you?
See,
have the cover art have a big butt. Have to do it.
Oh my!
Can't have regular pants. Has to be spandex.
It is weird. What else does this person do? I think I just pulled this because this was AI and people expect us to talk about AI every episode. For whatever reason.
I feel like that's more degenerate than just having, degenerate on your...
Can't say that word.
That is totally not a curse word. Whatever.
See.
Degenerate.
It's not a curse word, but anything adult-oriented.
Oh my god.
Oh, cool. Stellar Blade. The game that This is the first time I've ever seen gameplay of this.
This is the first time I've ever even heard of it.
Internet coomers have all been, really hyper-obsessing over this game because they're, because it has a hot character. Those hair physics are terrible.
I was going to comment on that once you stopped talking about it.
Oh my god, that looks really bad.
Yeah, is this released?
It's got, a demo out that, again, when the demo came out, I heard nothing about the gameplay or, what occurred in it. It was all just, people... All this game's hype is built around the fact that it has a hot character, and I think she's incredibly generic looking. So it hasn't really excited me at all, and this gameplay is still not doing that.
Again, that's more degenerate than having, than posting degenerate,
Content.
Content, yeah, there you go, content.
That's a good word.
On the main. Because, who plays a video game, a fighting video game, because the characters are hot? That's so lame. That's so dumb.
I like this person's tweet about this. This game will be the most fun in over a decade or something.
Or something.
Yeah, or something.
I can't tell if that's supposed to be ironic or not. I feel like it is, but I don't know what the point they're getting at is.
This person does not post a lot of game character AI. What is that?
You're definitely going to have to blur that.
Jesus. Yeah, that is going to be fun to figure out how to do that. See, it was fun to make fun of Stellar Blade, though, because... Wow, I still do not get what people are pretending to be excited. At least people aren't, like... are making any bones about the fact that, yeah, I'm literally only attracted to this game because of the character.
Wow.
No,
that's stupid, man.
it is very stupid, but there's no actual defending this. I'm trying to like play devil's advocate for them, but it is just very lame and pathetic.
There's really nothing. Like like I keep thinking of like Bayonetta as like another example of this, but Bayonetta is like stylistically really cool. Like it just has a lot of cool, visuals in it. And I haven't played it, but it's
Bayonetta actually is cool, and she's a cool character. I have no clue if this character's actually like got any personality whatsoever. So. Still not interested in it yet.
The game's not even out and people are already gooning over it, so probably not. Or if she does have character, it's going to be completely overlooked.
You also have to play it on the hardest difficulty to actually get the really revealing outfits. So
what? Why?
I'm not sure the gooners playing that are going to be like actually devoted enough to try that challenge.
They probably will.
See, we jumped into these stories a bit quick. I did want to mention that something regarding our breaks is that it was kind of my fault. I had the audacity of trying to have a social life.
Don't do that.
Yeah, podcasters don't, like... That doesn't exist for podcasters at all.
You also work graveyard shift, which makes that extra bad.
That's not gonna come back to bite me.
It's currently biting you.
I see no way. See. But yes, did want to apologize for that. We'll try to make sure it doesn't happen again, but no promises. But the good Lord did bless us with a very stunning lack of like anything actually interesting happening this week. So most of these stories are going to be kind of old. I meant to cover that before we got into them, but oh well. I'll use editing magic maybe if I'm not feeling lazy, which I probably will be.
What a lovely moldy bounty we have.
See. This one is very unimportant, but I pulled it because it's funny. Everything about this guy makes me laugh, especially side profile shots of him. He looks like a
Smiling Friends character.
Pretty much, yeah.
That hunch in his bag.
30 milkshakes. Some chicken. I hear you people like that a lot. I hate how the cocaine, like, is literally keeping this man immortal. Because I really want him to get to that level of senility where he's constantly saying, like, inappropriate stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's when he's
constantly pointing
right.
out their race in, like, a not in an offensive way, but in a way where it's like, okay. Alright, Grandpa, you're making this whole interaction a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you were to combine, like... Joe Biden's like senility with Donald Trump's everything else, he'd be perfect.
Did you hear he ordered like 30 of various items and was just giving it out to people in the store, or like?
I mean, it's a good election plan. Why does he do that with his hands?
Getting rich, right? Oh yeah, all these minimum wage workers in the back of the restaurant that they don't own.
Man, they're really eating that up.
God, he's so charismatic. I hate it so much. this does make me fucking, like, get a bit endeared towards him. Oh, wait, I can't swear. We got 5 more minutes until that can happen.
Dang it.
I'd say 10 minutes is good enough. Let's call it good for the swearing.
I don't care.
I do. We're supposed to be getting rich off of this, and it hasn't happened yet. And I'm getting impatient.
We keep missing so much time.
We average, like, pretty much the same amount of views on every episode, no matter how consistent we are.
Yes, but if we were more consistent, we'd probably get more.
No, if we started, like, actually cutting out segments of these episodes like I've been talking about, but haven't gotten around to...
Shout out in the comments if you think if we were to upload more consistently that you'd make all your friends and family watch.
I would rather no one recommend this to their family at all, to be honest.
No, recommend it to your family. Hold them at gunpoint. Force them to watch.
Here's one of the stupider things that happened this weekend. This is the Warhammer stuff I foreshadowed to you before we started recording, by the way.
I'm not excited.
See, so...
Ooh.
These
gentlemen,
quiet, are called custodes, and they're basically the bodyguards of the God Emperor of mankind. You see, the God Emperor of man. I'm not going that far back in the lore.
Good. They're go anywhere in the lore.
They're the personal bodyguards of humanity's God, and it was just announced that they can be women now. Because it was just assumed by everyone that they were all men previously.
Okay.
I guess that's, like, not a bad assumption to make, considering it's clearly stated that all Space Marines are men, but these guys are not Space Marines, which is why I think they were, content with kind of retconning that to include women. Because the process for making these guys is very different from a Space Marine. But a bunch of fat, sweaty neckbeards got very mad about it. And case in point, this guy.
God.
No, this guy's one of the bigger Warhammer channels. And he basically came at it with the mindset of, like, long as they're not going to pretend it's always been a 50-50 ratio of women to male custodes, then he's fine with the retcon. And just that opinion garnered this reaction from people. See, a lot of Warhammer fans are acting like the sky is currently falling down.
That's not surprising.
And highlighting, like, tidbits from the lore that did call custodes, like, all men. It was like, shit like they're all men who were born on Earth or some crap like that. And it's like, see, they lied to us! And it's like, no, they just didn't think of it yet. Like,
I've met 2 Warhammer fans in my entire life, and they both smell like they would have that opinion.
I certainly do. I don't like women. Women in my army? See...
Are there any female Warhammer fans?
Any? No, not a single one.
I never even heard of one.
No. There's a lot more nowadays because the internet's kind of made this dumb hobby very popular. But unfortunately, it comes with the sweats, which we will be getting into very shortly. But I think my opinion on this is that I'm pretty much fine with it because retcons have always been a thing in Warhammer. It's a 40-year-long series.
Retcons are a thing in every franchise.
It makes the most sense in something like Warhammer because this series has had dozens of authors contribute to it. And they've always retconned shit. And these, like, fat gooners weren't mad about that before, but this retcon, because it includes women, they're like, oh, fucking woke bullshit! And I guess they are pointing out, like, this is because BlackRock wants to make everything woke. BlackRock.
BlackRock? The company, real estate company?
Yes, they own, like, huge shares of the company that owns, that owns Warhammer. And
Why?
So I like how that's the conspiracy that these morons glom onto, not the fact that BlackRock is like destroying like housing for the next several generations. And like
I'm more surprised that BlackRock. I'm more surprised that BlackRock cares about Warhammer. Why the hell? Why is?
I
Why
don't
does
know
BlackRock
why.
have a share in that company?
I don't know
of
what
all
they're owning it.
companies?
I don't know what they own it for, to be honest. But though people are theorizing that it's BlackRock trying to do this to us, and
No, probably not.
no, I don't think they care about you that much, guys. I'm sorry to say.
No, definitely not.
Let's see what. I'll just play a little bit of this dude's video, just so we have.
You probably have seen the news. Female custodes are now canon, not just like as a new Belsarius cool tinkering thingo. No, they have been made retrospectively canon, meaning since their creation 10,000 years ago, there has always been female custodes amongst their ranks. This obviously raises a few eyebrows and even more questions, while also potentially reigniting and refueling the female space marine debate. But why now? Does this conflict or retcon previous law?
Wait, I thought Space Marines were clones of the sons of the God Emperor.
They have like genes implanted in them from the sons of the Emperor, and it like alters their genetic. It alters their own genetics,
Oh, okay.
which basically like implants their DNA in them, which makes them sons in the weirdest, most roundabout way possible.
But they can't be daughters.
No, they've specified that the Space Marine process requires male DNA as like a base plate to start with. But the process of making a custodes is completely different from a Space Marine, which is why they, I guess, were willing to do this retcon, because I don't think they would do this for Space Marines, like, at all. I think that if they did start doing female Space Marines, which is something that... I'll get into my thoughts on that shortly, but if they were going to get into female Space Marines, I think they would have them be a new thing. I don't think they would just pretend they've always existed like these female custodes.
They couldn't. Warhammer's been all male Space Marines for way too long. Space Marine is like the main thing in Warhammer. There's no way you could just suddenly be like, oh yeah, there's girls.
See, the other problem with the Space Marine is that you brought up is like they are made into clones, so even if you did have a bunch of women, they would just end up turning into like trans men, where they look and sound exactly like men, but you pull their pants off and they just have like little pink pussy lips. I'm actually liking this idea. That would actually be horrifying.
Can Space Marines even reproduce?
They don't want to, is the thing. They have the capability of doing it. And I think they might be sterile, but they can still fuck.
I would assume that a Space Marine would get major shrinkage after going through all that roiding.
There are a few passages in a few novels where, like, standard humans have been forced to, like, shower, like, near Space Marines just because, like, they're in a war and they can't, like, set up, individual showers, I guess, and they were like, holy shit, Space Marines have huge dicks.
Okay.
But they just don't use them, I guess.
Nice.
Whatever. We're far afield of the female custodes, which is the real thing we should be focusing on.
Is it now?
My reaction to this is that since the process is different, I don't care as much. I also don't care as much about custodes as Space Marines, although custodes are way stronger than Space Marines, so it makes sense that the process for making them is different.
Yeah, I would also assume, being that they're rarer and stronger, they have more attention put into their creation.
So, yeah, I don't care as much in that respect. I would kind of be against them making female Space Marines retroactively like this. Like, if they were like... I don't think they're gonna do this after this shit, to be honest. But if they did introduce female Space Marines, I would be more okay with it if they just made it like, oh, now we can make women into Space Marines too. And not, oh, women have always been Space Marines. We just never mentioned it. Tee!
I mean, if the God Emperor had a daughter, then that would just be the avenue for there being female Space Marines after that.
There are 2 missing ones. Missing Primarchs. Maybe it gets revealed that they were women, and that's why the Emperor killed them. Ew! This is an old boys club! I want boys around me!
Just picks them up by the feet.
By their longer hair because they're women.
Wait, there's been 2 missing Primarchs this whole time?
No, they were like dead and scrubbed from history.
Why?
They've never revealed it.
Oh.
Not even in the lore. They've just, like, hinted that, like, whatever they did was so bad that that all memory and records of them were scrubbed for forever. And they didn't even do that to the guy who allied with the powers of hell and fucking turned the God Emperor into a half-dead corpse.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they had to have done something really bad in order to pull something like that off. Because this is the same universe with like Slanesh and Nurgle and Khorne.
Well, normal humans weren't allowed to know of their existence until recently in the lore.
The
Chaos Gods.
Oh, why were they allowed to know about them now?
Because a giant rift formed in the that like divided the entire galaxy, and it's like a big portal to hell that you can't help but see when you look into the sky. So it's pretty hard to keep them a secret now.
I'm surprised the God Emperor wasn't just like, don't look up there or I'll kill you.
See, all right, now we're just talking about nerd crap. See, I think I gave my thoughts on this.
Oh yeah, let us know if you want more nerd crap and less, like, news crap.
Yes, we have been thinking about doing this, more discussing, like, media that we like, but I only pulled this because it was, like, a big news story. People were trying to claim this was, like a really big deal, and that they're, like, waging a war against Warhammer now and not being willing to give them any money or something because this was just a thing for boys and now they're ruining it.
That's not gonna last. They're not gonna boycott it, dude. Imagine if
the people who weren't giving what's it called, Games Workshop money before this aren't giving it to them now, and anyone using this as an excuse are big fat crybabies, we'll say.
Dude, imagine if, what's his name, Henry Cavill? Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if he was on that bandwagon of boycotting Warhammer for adding girls to the, whatever they're called.
A bunch of people were, like, memeing that he would hate it, but I don't think he would. I don't think he's... Because Henry Cavill's not a fucking loser, I guess.
Yeah.
He's
too cool to be upset about this.
I don't think Space Marines themselves should be retconned into women, but this one I have less of an issue with. But yeah, Space Marines, keep them boys. Although
that is like the 4th time you've said that.
I know. I just got to make sure I reiterate it a bunch more.
Don't make them girls. I don't like it.
See, there was one thing I wanted to mention was people have been bringing up a point that is fair to bring up, is like there are several all-female factions in Warhammer, and I don't think they're gonna retcon any men into them, which
yeah,
I still don't really care about, but like that is like a fair point to bring up.
I think it's pretty lame to bring gender politics into Warhammer. I feel like if they wanted to add female whatever they're called. What are they called again?
Custodes.
Yeah. If you were to add female custodes retroactively, I feel like the custodes are like they're the type of class
Faction.
faction.
That's typically what they're called.
I
Like, they're
feel
not even counted amongst Space Marines. They're counted as something completely different.
Yeah,
even in the lore.
Because you're not going to see like an entire army of custodes, realistically. Because they only really guard the God Emperor, right?
The Custodes have only existed since like 2006 as a faction. So there's not even like a long history being tainted here by this.
Yeah, so there's no real... like, if you're going to do that with any of them, I feel like the Custodes is the perfect fit for it, because it's not intrusive at all to just say, oh yeah, there's girls in there. They've always been girls in there.
Like,
it's easy. It doesn't... like...
I'll acknowledge that's a big change, but I also don't really care, because...
I don't even think it's that big of a change.
I've talked to a woman before, I guess. Maybe that's why they're so against it. I wouldn't talk to a female Custodes. Why the long gap there? See, I did pull up this video of the smartest man on the internet talking about this issue. I think he'll really illustrate it for us.
First thing I do is I say, would you look?
This gentleman is the Quartering, by the way. You might have heard of him.
Nope.
He is an anti-woke, anti-SJW style YouTuber, and he's a very fat, very stupid moron, and I hate him a lot. So,
Where do you find all of these losers?
You know what I mean? Just look at it.
you absorb a lot of,
What the heck is
you
that?
absorb a lot of, characters existing on the internet as long as you do, or
Why
as
do
long
they
as I
all
do.
look the same, too?
This dude looks very soy.
They're always just, like, Shad adjacent.
This dude's had Shad on before
That
to
doesn't
talk about,
surprise
like,
me.
AI art and shit.
Oh, my God, dude.
Well, we all saw it coming. Warhammer, of course, getting woke, just like...
Oh, man, I can't wait to watch this. Keep in mind, one of this dude's main critiques of feminism is like, oh, they just, like, take advantage of media that they don't really care about to earn a quick buck. I want you to keep that in mind while we're watching this video.
Okay.
There's gonna be some glaring shit that, really fucking... See, what's the word here? Grates my sack, if you pardon the French.
Like all the great
I
video
do not
game
pardon the
games of
French.
our time. I also often lament how lame games like Magic the Gathering have gotten since they decided to embrace political ideologies and care more about
Boy, I
having
bet he
enough
does.
trans representation in their fictional video game.
He's
or
very
fictional card
aggressively
game, as opposed
avoiding
to
eye contact
With the camera.
Yeah.
reprints of crappy card stock quality. But anyway, Warhammer is probably on a completely different level in terms of lore, in terms of cost to enjoy the game, and the monopoly that the company that runs it actually has over the game. Games Workshop is probably one of the
Wait, the monopoly that the company that owns the game has over it?
Yeah, how do you have a monopoly at... How do you
McDonald's has a
monopolize
real
your...
monopoly on quarter pounders. What the fuck?
Yeah, how do you monopolize your own intellectual property? That doesn't make any sense.
One thing you will learn about Jeremy, that's this gentleman, Jeremy Quartering, I think that's his last name. One thing you'll learn about him is that he's very, very fucking retarded. And he says dumb shit like that a lot.
Dude, you have such a monopoly on your own balls. It's so unfair, dude.
I'm constantly, like, touching my own sack. What the fuck? I have a monopoly on grabbing my own cock and balls!
You share it, man.
I can't think of another company that is more hated by its fans. Maybe Activision, Call of Duty, you could maybe say that. Well, coincidentally, 3 of the top 4 stockholders in Game Workshop.
Wait,
just to
is
clarify-
he saying that Warhammer is... The
Warhammer fans.
hate Warhammer?
They pretty much do, yeah.
Really? Why?
Warhammer, Games Workshop, the company, just practices a lot of, like, really skeevy shit to, like, fleece money out of its fans. And, people also bring up shit like this, which I don't really care about this thing specifically. Warhammer, or Games Workshop, has done some shit even outside of just, like, fleecing its fans that I had a problem with, like, how they've dealt with the lore with certain factions I haven't really been a fan of. But, yeah, retconning it to be more quote-unquote woke is not that... Because these people were also freaking out because there was, like, a black space marine on one of the book covers a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And, like, I guarantee you a lot of those exact same people are now sitting here like, what? Women? What? Ew! Which I love, by the way, because it has been, like, a canon thing for many, many decades, even before that the Space Marines are multi-ethnic. Like, they made a point of stating that multiple times in several novels.
Dude, aren't some of these motherfuckers gray?
They're charcoal black with glowing red eyes.
No, you can't have slightly more melanin.
One of the Primarchs is just an African guy. And the other one's a Mongolian.
What? Why is there a problem then? I don't... How does that...
I don't really know. Like, a lot of, like... Warhammer does have a uniquely bad problem with this. And you know what the issue is? Is because it makes the fascists look cool, even though it makes it very clear that the Imperium of Man isn't good. Like, it's not well run. It's not, like... It's, like, slowly crumbling under its own weight. And it intentionally makes the universe itself as ridiculous as possible to even try to justify the shit that this faction does to keep itself going, and it oftentimes doesn't work. And a bunch of, like, racist, like, incel teenagers see that shit and go, haha, yeah, I want to be that, yeah! Literally me! So I think that's the main issue with it, because lots of fans are well aware, like, oh yeah, the Imperium of Man's kind of fucking retarded. You'd be a dipshit to, like these guys.
Yeah, I've, anytime anybody's told me about, like, the Warhammer universe, I have always found it very weird that it's so awful in that world. It sounds very difficult to enjoy.
Which, by the way, like, gay relationships are not frowned upon at all, even in this universe. Which is made very clear in multiple lore cases, so they can't really complain about that one.
How long has that been a part of the lore?
For
always?
Also multiple decades.
Nice.
Like, gay relationships are, like, highlighted constantly in this series. And it's literally because the universe sucks so hard. The mental dialogue is like, yeah, shit sucks. We're not gonna tell people who they can and can't love.
Fair.
Oh, cool.
Can't
Thank you,
that.
Imperium of Man.
Yeah, we don't like literally any other species in the entire universe, but gay people are fine.
For stockholders in Game Workshop are BlackRock and Vanguard Group, I believe. We're going to take a look at that. So, you knew it was coming. These woke ESG companies invest.
Boy, we sure did.
Now we get it. Games Workshop makes
BlackRock.
Cool.
Woke-ass company, huh?
Does he have a wolf logo on his hat?
Had always featured female members. Now, I am
That's
not
lame.
a deep lore Warhammer
He
person,
does.
although I did do a really fun, I had fun playing Warhammer RP with Arch Warhammer and V. I think Sargon too for a little while. I had a lot of fun with that. Skaven for the win. But anyway.
Skaven are in Warhammer Fantasy, you fucking idiot. This is not the right series you're talking about.
Actually.
Yes, actually.
Insulting to the intelligence of their player base. Warhammer 40k developer Games Workshop has taken to claiming that despite years of official canonical evidence to the contrary, the game's all-male Adeptus Custodes faction, Custodes or Custodes, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, has always included female...
Spoiler, he's never gonna know how to pronounce that.
Wait,
Letters among
why is he so passionate about this if he's not even, like, familiar with the lore or names?
He's not passionate about this.
Oh, he's
one of these, like, fucking slop churning type of channels where he'll just pull up an article about something he doesn't give a shit about, read the article on stream, and just say the exact same shit over and over again of, like, these fucking woke companies, and I'm surprised he even stays awake recording this shit at this point, because he's done it literally thousands of fucking times.
He's literally doing the same thing he's complaining about them doing. He's just pandering to an audience.
Yes, that's why I highlighted that at the beginning. He is also taking advantage of media that he doesn't care about to make a quick buck.
Wow.
Wow, Jeremy. You really let that one slip through your fingers, didn't ya?
It's almost like if you have a frontal lobe, you can understand that.
Fuck, these guys look so cool.
I hate how tall their helmets are.
Yeah.
the retcon.
People call them
Everything else.
the Banana Boys. Specifically because of those things.
Everything else looked super sick, but those stupid tall helmets.
I like the helmets, fuck you.
Fuck you. Those are stupid looking helmets.
That's why they look cool on them, though.
No.
It's because of how
stupid
goofy
looking
they
helmets
are.
look stupid. It
No,
doesn't go
no.
back around to being cool.
Everything on them looks stupid.
No, everything else looks cool except for the stupid banana helmet.
Including the beach ball shoulder pauldrons.
They all have beach ball shoulder pauldrons.
Every single faction does. It's kind of crazy.
Games Workshop had specifically chosen to highlight a battlefield story concerning a female custodian by the name of Calades Don't Care. Calades Cash. Custodian Calades Cash stood upon the bridge of the Cobra-class destroyer, begins a
Calades Torovalia Kesh.
named Vigilant.
That is one hell of a Warhammer name.
Battlefleet Solar. She injured in the shadows.
She injured?
She injured. Oh, they put a fucking typo in the article.
Hits at the armament shrines.
Did
They injured in the shadows.
Before his command throne.
In this part down here, it has the correct type.
Right?
typing
Gotta
of it
have more
there.
strong, independent weapons.
Also, does he have evidence that this is like... Because, alright, so is it... Fuck. So, if this is a retcon...
Armament shrines
Go ahead,
in
keep
the
talking.
case of the shipmaster
I'm just trying to get through most of the video.
before his
If this is a retcon, what?
I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. So, like,
gotta have more
if...
strong, independent women who
Why does he say women like that? Women?
That's been a meme since 2015,
Oh.
which is about how long he's been making this fucking schlock. So
Probably why I didn't recognize that as a joke. It's so old.
I don't even remember where that comes from. I know I've been hearing it in these kind of videos since then, though.
It's probably just, you know, an old meme where there wasn't really a context. But, anyhow, if it's a retcon, are they retcon... So, was it previously established that all of the custodes, was it previously established that the custodes were only male, or was it just never addressed?
I brought this up a little bit earlier. It was, it has not been addressed to the same degree that Space Marines being all male has been addressed, but it has been, there's just been, like, some throwaway paragraphs of, like, these men all born of Terra. Like, that kind of shit.
So
There's like 2 or 3 paragraphs. Like, yeah, if you read it, it would imply that they were all men.
Okay.
But it's not been like... It hasn't been, like, highlighted to the point that the process of them requiring them to only be men has been stated.
Also, I've heard men used as just like a stand-in word for, like, soldiers.
See... How will I put this? If it's like a 50-50 split, I would agree that's a bit retarded, because Warhammer is somewhat grounded in that reality. But if it's like, oh, like 10 to 20% of the custodes are female, I think that's a bit less egregious.
How are the custodes selected?
They're selected from birth and basically, like, molded into these things over the course of, like, 100+ years.
How do they decide? Is it just like you meet certain
highborn? Yeah, you have to have certain genetic qualifications, and you have to start from like infancy.
Oh,
There's pretty.
I mean, if those genetic qualifications are predominant in men, then I could see that. But like, if they're not gender specific, then I could see the split being closer to 50%.
Yeah.
If there's no like, if the only signifiers are genetic, then you know it really depends on what genes it's targeting.
Let's see here.
Who don't need no man. That's the whole purpose. We can't create anything new. We can't create anything new.
What?
We must just change and wokeify.
This is making new things. It's adding new shit to the lore, isn't it?
Yeah, also the custodes, the female custodes aren't like suddenly stronger than from the male custodes.
That would be retarded. I would be on these mouth breather sides if they did that.
But they don't have that. That's not the case though. So they're just wrong.
Space Marines 8th edition. All members of Adaptus began their lives
Adaptus.
as the infant sons of the noble houses of Terra.
There's one of them.
Okay.
Warhammer 40k Codex Space Marines 8th edition, elaborating this brief bit alone. So essentially, look, they weren't women. Now, what do you think the company did when its own customers knew the lore better than they did? In turn, blatantly lying to customers' faces, the official account then fired back. Okay, so following the
They retconned the lore. Those things are irrelevant now. That's the fucking point. Alright, I think we've pretty much reached the...
So dramatic. Here's a counterexample to this stupid argument.
Not only did they get ruthlessly ratioed,
H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft, I read, or I listened to a complete collection of H.P. Lovecraft's fiction. Like, just H.P. Lovecraft's, not based off of H.P. Lovecraft or anything like that. Like, he wrote it. And I can say with confidence that he should not have his fiction loyally translated. Everything you've seen that's like based off of H.P. Lovecraft is better than anything H.P. Lovecraft ever made. H.P. Lovecraft was not very talented. He had some creative ideas, especially for his time, and he was insanely racist.
I support him for that reason, though.
Oh, okay. So, basically, all the original people who wrote and came up with the idea of Warhammer presumably aren't currently making Warhammer. And so they probably had ideas that the current writers of Warhammer don't hold. And so now that it is in new writers' hands, they have the responsibility to either continue to uphold those ideas or to not uphold those ideas. So
I imagine that like a lot of the people who wrote the first Adeptus Custodes crap still work there because it's a relatively new addition to the lore.
That's true. But I mean, like, the predominantly male soldiers, not even just Space Marines, but just characters in Warhammer, I think probably does have a sexist root. So diversifying their lore is not really a bad way to go. And I think this is a pretty harmless way of doing it.
Let's see what else this gentleman has to say.
Directly inquired to Games Workshop, why did you make them female? In a turn of blatantly lying to the fans' face, the official account fired back, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians.
Yes, that's how retcons work.
To get ruthlessly ratioed would be an understatement. Not only did they get ruthlessly ratioed, but they were blocking people left and right. If you see, first of all, this
holy
comment,
shit,
that's
not
true.
ratioed on Twitter.
See my pinned thread.
How will they ever survive?
Mistake when you have the
I find the
60%
term
versus
ratioed to be
But
cringe.
why lie about the past?
You're
There's
right to
obviously
find
all
it
the lore
that.
from the book.
Or to...
These men never
Yes,
leave
find
Earth.
it that.
And a new identity upon culmination, allowing every dynasty that had offered up its sons to claim the children of the successful ones alive and well among the Golden Brotherhood. There were
These paragraphs are irrelevant. It's been retconned.
Yeah, also there's like 4 paragraphs across the entire fiction.
Female player here.
That should supersede everything.
It's not even that. It's literally contradicting 4 paragraphs.
I will pirate your books and share them with all my friends for free. This is pandering and insulting and condescending. 7,000 likes. What you might not know about the game, if you don't
You really care that much?
They make all the money off leading with an iron grip these miniatures that you use to play the game. Now you could use tokens.
Why prior to this has there not been a single named character in all the codices or books? Because they didn't think of it previously and it's a retcon now.
Yeah, you have to, you know, attach the real world to the fiction. You can't just have one without the other.
You can pretty much get a pretty nice 3D
We'll burn through. We'll be done with this story soon, and then we'll burn through a few.
Hope this was worth it. Why, prior to this book, has there not been a single named character in all the codices or books?
Retconned.
This is the laziest thing I've ever seen. By the way, all these having thousands of likes I've ever heard.
Man.
Ever since 1987. Not so much.
They have got lots. They do have lots of likes. That's pretty sad.
They were always no world building.
This really, like, rustled some people's fucking panties.
You aren't going to replace the income lost, making the 100 women who care happy. By the way, just to point out,
I'm sure there's more than 100 women who like this hobby.
I don't think there are very many women, but, like, opening up that, or, like, extending that olive branch is not a bad idea.
A lot of trans people like Warhammer for some reason.
I can see that.
You see this? I don't think this approach is going to go as well as you think it will. And also, Warhammer joins Disney and Doctor Who to being allergic to money. Here's Thor Odinson.
A lot of racist femboys like it as well, which is very, I don't know what the correlation is there, to be honest. I know the correlation between racism and femboys, but not to Warhammer.
You know the correlation between racism and femboys?
That is a big meme that a lot of femboys are like white supremacists.
That's odd.
I know, right?
I wasn't aware that was a thing.
It's probably not that big of a thing. It's probably more a lot of racists are femboys and not a lot of femboys are racist.
That makes me feel a little better. I was worried I was going to have to start canceling subscriptions.
If Astolfo isn't racist, I'm not watching.
Thousands of dollars in like the last year. All right, this is a heavy.
Is he gonna say anything else?
And like again, they could.
All he does is like pull up other people's crap and read it, and like hundreds of thousands of fucking mouth breathers tune into him and go.
The number 2 and number 3 shareholders are BlackRock.
I'm tired of this guy.
Would you look at that? Just another.
There was one thing I wanted to see him bring up. He might have gotten past it, but he brought up like the stock drop that Games Workshop suffered because of this little controversy. I want you to guess what the stock drop was.
10 grand. I don't know, man.
No, like the percentage.
Oh. 4?
Less.
Really? 2?
Less.
1?
Less.
Oh, it's a point something percent drop?
0.5%. And
wow.
These people were all treating that like it was like a big victory for them. And it was very sad. Like they kept like showing off like the stock price like dropping like this. But then people would point out like, you got this zoomed like all the way in, man. See, that was funny. And it impacted me personally, which is more important.
Whoa.
Alright, let's see what the rest of these stories are now.
So glad we spent all that time on Warhammer.
Let's see. Don't you worry, we've got plenty of other garbage to cover.
Anyways, let us know if you enjoyed it.
Who would have enjoyed that? I'm
Not
probably
me.
gonna cut out like half of it. Because it was boring and unwatchable, you see.
You cut that whole section out.
Just wasted our time, and they don't get to like see any of that. Let's see.
Jesus.
I pulled up Critical's video for the sake of these, because I always
As
do
you
that.
always do.
Yes. But we're watching it for this clip coming up right here specifically. These clips, I mean. I couldn't find them on Reddit where I first saw this story, but this became super viral. It's some, like, 12-year-old streamer, like, fucking with people and threatening to fight a grown woman.
Oh,
behavior
lovely.
and be like
Yes.
them. It's fucking tragic.
Let's
and
see.
Now we're starting to see the results.
Let's see
of
where
all
this
this.
future winner... He was walking up to the guy and changed his mind. They're still processing it from the looks of it.
What did he do?
He, like, stuck his hand in her food.
And I'm throwing all of your food.
You're not pushing our troll.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that.
This young whippersnapper can't be.
Charlie, I'm not stealing your content. Stop talking.
I don't know, man. Feels like you're stealing content.
None of that was his content. Relax a little.
I see his face. It counts.
It's right there. See, apparently, like, later in the stream after that happened, he got in a fight with this kid. Which, good. I hope that kid beat this little rat fink face fuck's ass. See, that was a lot of alliteration in that insult, I just realized.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was all off the dome, too.
Surprised he didn't turn into a leprechaun after that.
I should be a street rapper with that one. I don't like it when this guy's smiling at me. See, let's watch the rest of this guy. What did you think of that early video?
How
would
I'm
you
excited about life in general.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm tired of seeing these people be created.
That's what happens when you put an iPhone in your child's hands, by the way. They turn into that kid.
Also, they have a much higher likelihood of being killed by someone.
See, yeah, by me. Because I would have, like, grabbed this kid and swung him around like nunchucks if he did that to my food.
Just knee dropped him like Bane.
Just walk to the second story of a building and fall down on top of him knees first. It's
Like
gonna
that
force
scene,
from Teen Titans.
Yeah,
That is
you
what
exactly
I was thinking
what I
of.
was
I didn't even realize that.
That was insane. For people who haven't seen it, there's I think it was in the Teen Titans.
That was in the
movie?
Teen Titans movie. He does a double knee drop from like Robin.
Yeah, the guy without superpowers does it onto who he thinks is a regular dude's spine.
And realizes after he does that it was a robot. What a psycho.
I mean, he learned from the best. Batman just clobbering goons.
I can't hear the word goons anymore without different activity coming into mind.
Come on, man. During late night into those riots, what do you think they're doing? They're definitely breaking into somebody's house,
They're like kissing each other.
jerking off into their microwave.
There were some gay thug, some gay Arkham thug dialogue that you would get sometimes.
Like what? What did they say?
They would just mention like, breaking into a store, and he would be like, "Oh, pick up some flowers for me. My man's waiting for me."
That's cool. I like that.
I don't. Now I feel bad beating them up, because what if it's the gay one?
Batman just crying.
No! He's too precious.
I'm sorry.
He punches him in the guts, and all the cocaine condoms explode, killing him. Let's see where this leads.
Do not do that.
Look at this little twerp trying to, like, act hard and threaten her.
It's a live stream. You can't stop it.
Yeah, I like how they're just sort of like buzzing at a distance, like gnats.
This kid has like a fucking, like, bodyguard hanging around him that's, like, standing behind her looking like he's trying to sucker punch her or something.
Was that other kid that just showed up?
Yeah, you can, like, see him hovering behind her.
Now you're not touching my fucking phone. Touch my phone.
Yeah, I think it's this little twerp.
That's not much of a.
Kids
That's
making
not much of
friends
a
with this
bodyguard.
woman.
That kid's like barely larger than him.
He found a 14-year-old and was like, "You're basically an adult." Oh my god, I would love to clobber some children like that. I would be laughing like the Joker the entire time I was doing that. It would be a scary sight, actually.
Just doing a fucking...
Whoa, that guy's enjoying that way too much.
A Batman beatdown. You know what he's having.
I just start moving like a Smiling Friends character. I fucking spat everywhere doing that sound effect.
Just machine gun punching these kids.
Let's see, I think there's one more part. I really wish this woman had beaten these kids up.
Yeah. Just pepper spray them real quick.
Alright, hold up. Don't do that again.
Hold up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Let's go.
I couldn't imagine anything more painful as a parent than seeing your son like this, or any of the kids in this.
Oh, man. The assault charges I would rack up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Would you beat these kids up? How would you actually react to these kids walking up and fucking with you in public?
Honestly, I think I'd stall, because my first instinct would be to maim them. But then I'd be like, they might live to regret this if I don't maim them.
I would be way more calm at first, thinking it's just some kids fucking around until I saw the camera. And that would actually enrage me. Because then I would know, oh, these fucking kids thought they could use me for content. Well, their buttholes are about to be used for content when their fucking stream gets a full view of it after I shove this camera up his colon.
I don't know, man.
Little fucking twerp bothering me, the fuck?
Normally I don't lose my temper all the way, but there have been cases when I have, and it's a slippery slope. So I feel like I'd probably stall, because I would...
You'll turn into the Incredible Hulk?
No, because I don't think I would... I think these kids would be, like, special needs afterwards.
Give them brain damage.
Yeah.
I don't think you could brain damage a kid whose, like, mind has been rotted by cell phone usage to that degree.
I would probably do, like, the Bane, and I would just drop them onto my knee and snap their spines.
I would probably pick him up and smash him into the ground until he stopped moving. Like that monkey and that chimp.
I would...
The chimp just, like, like he's beating the dust out of a fucking doormat.
Exactly.
That is probably, like, the most horrifying experience, like, imaginable for that monkey, being caught by a chimp, but it looks so funny.
Dude, I thought it was dead right up until, like, he stopped flopping it for a second, and the monkey, like, stuck its hand out. Poor bastard.
Me! No, man, this looks too funny. I'm sorry. Alright, let's see. There's a cool kid. This fat bitch won't move her leg.
She just kick him?
She's claiming that he kicked her.
Oh.
But it did look like she kicked him there, the fuck? Let's watch that again. I didn't actually notice that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she kicked him. What the fuck?
What a fucking asshole.
Listen to what this kid tells her. She's gonna try to make a scene out of it.
You're 11 years old. You're what?
Good on you, kid. Don't
What was the first part he said?
I'm 11 years old. You're 80. Get a life. Fucking
Hell
kid
yeah.
has a deeper voice than me at that age. Probably deeper than me now.
Probably all that sack.
That was actually a cool kid. Yeah, his fucking, like, brass balls.
Hell
talking
yeah,
to an adult like that. I never could have.
A shocking moment when
Yeah, probably not.
See, I think this one's... Did you see that video of those, like, fat dipshits, like, destroying that rock formation?
I don't think so.
See... I wanted to discuss this because I've wanted to, fucking share my thoughts. We'll try to breeze through a lot of these. We probably won't get through all these topics tonight, but we'll get through as many as we can. This is just going to be a gauntlet of random news stories at this point.
destroyed protected rock formations
formation.
I should have said
at a
that 2
Nevada
stories
National
ago.
Park recently, bystanders captured it on their phone cameras. The National Park Service says rangers
So
are
here
looking
they
for
are.
the 2 men who toppled
Wow, they're
several
fatter
ancient
than I
rocks
recalled.
at the Lake Mead National Recreation Area on April 7th. The daughter of one of the men was nearby. She yelled, "Daddy, don't fall," as her father worked to shove large chunks of rock loose from an outcropping. Officials say...
Why are they doing that?
Because knocking rocks over is fucking dope, obviously.
That's true, but why are they doing it to like
Why'd you go to like a national park to do this, you fucking idiots?
Yeah, like pushing rocks down a hill is fun, but like why are you doing this to like protected rocks?
You ever see that video of those guys like pushing a boulder down a hill and it fucking takes out a pine tree?
I've seen videos like that. I don't know if I've seen the one that you're talking about.
That video's so fucking dope. But, God, could you imagine the sound it made in person?
Oh, it probably sounded like a gunshot.
You probably felt it from on top of the hill.
Oh, yeah.
God, that would be sick. So you can see I understand these guys' inclination, but
Every
don't do
male
it to rocks
understands.
people give a shit about.
Yeah, every male understands that inclination. It's a weird,
That rock is teetering. It's making me itchy.
It's a weird, like, it's ingrained into our DNA. I don't know why.
It's just dope. Probably because most other animals are too fucking stupid to appreciate the glamour of it.
Rock-a-boom.
You push the rock over, a helicopter flies by. You watch it until you can't hear it anymore, and you're just like, this has been a good day. See, what I will say, like, I do think people get overly outraged about this to some degree, because people are talking about, like, ruining these dudes' lives, which would be very easy, because, why the fuck do you think everyone's filming you guys? It's because you're not supposed to be doing this.
I feel like there would be people trying to stop them, too. Like, why would they be down there?
Why were they allowed to climb to this point?
Yeah, why did they go all the way out there to do this?
These look like guys who hike maybe 4 hours a year. So, yeah, people like that will tend to just, like, do shit like this, which is unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it's really only we actually are, like, weird enough to give a shit about these rocks. You think any animal is gonna walk by these, like, collapsed rocks and be like, oh no, those were up there before, who could have done this? And start crying about it and start, like, tweeting about how we have to find whoever knocked these rocks over.
We care because we're the only species that can literally remove them from the planet.
See, yeah, at the end of the day, it's a pile of fucking rocks, guys. Don't get that worked up over it. But still don't do this. Because, like, I do like looking at formations like this. I don't like it when a bunch of fat dipshits come along and ruin it.
If this was, like, this seems very premeditated, and if it is premeditated, they should be fined, at the very least.
I mean, I doubt they went to this park just to do this. They probably just did exactly what we were joking about, like, saw the boulder teetering and were like, I'm gonna go knock that over. It's gonna be so fucking sick.
I mean...
And it was.
They said this is, like, a protected, area, though.
One of the most popular sites at the park, which is just outside of
I think
Vegas.
protected to them means, like, oh, don't literally light everything on fire. No one's gonna care if we, like, topple a few rocks over, though.
So, was the person filming somebody who...
Probably was with them, because I didn't hear them saying anything.
Okay. If
they
this
were
is
also...
just, like, a case of like, Boonga brain, then I'd say that's forgivable.
But why, though, asks the Redditor. That's all that runs through my mind as well. But why? They're just knocking fucking rocks over to them, guys. They are not doing... Those dudes aren't doing that thinking like, hey, I'm destroying cultural heritage.
Fuck you, Batman.
It's
I'll destroy these these
geological...
goddamn rocks.
Geological? Shut up. I don't need you fucking correcting my vocabulary.
I'm gonna kick you in the bat belt.
I'm gonna kick you in your bat balls. Let's see. What is
I wear
this?
a bat cod piece.
Oh, yes.
You would, you fucking loser.
This is a fun story. Wake up, wake up, the apocalypse is here. Everyone who has ears, listen. Your time to choose what you believe is now. If you believe a world is possible for the people, retweet now. There is power in choice, there is power in choice. Repost to make the choice for the collective.
What?
See, this person tweeted that during that, like, recent eclipse that happened. I want you to guess what they went on to do during the eclipse.
Stare directly into the sun?
No, it's worse.
Oh.
What do you think this person did?
Sacrificed all their friends using a bailiff?
No, it's worse. Oh, shut up. Let's see. This is their account.
Did they self-immolate?
See, no, that would only be like the third time. I'm getting sick of those. Speaking of which, as we record this, a new video of that came out recently, and it was pretty fire.
What, just another angle of that guy burning himself to death?
I saw several angles of that. I saw like a CNN. I should have pulled up the CNN one, but they were also showing footage of the guy burning, so I couldn't really do that. But the chick was like clearly freaking out, but in like a newscaster way.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, there was a person burning right now. Oh my gosh, I can smell burning flesh right now. Oh my gosh, that person's on fire. Oh my gosh.
I think I got some eyeball on my shoe.
Maybe that's that popping sound we heard in that video. Maybe one of his eyeballs just like boiled over.
No, that was definitely a gunshot. There's no way it could, dude.
Or like the fire reached like the can of shit that he brought with him.
I mean, maybe. I didn't see anything burst though. I think my guess is that one of the cops shot like a round into the ground or into the air or something in order to like disperse the crowd.
They're not allowed to do that.
Well, that's
unless they use some like riot control bullshit.
There's like 1 million of them there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had riot control stuff.
See, all right.
What'd she do? Quit edging me.
You're the one who started talking about the self-immolation guy.
No, I just asked if she self-immolated.
See, here's what she did. Daniel Johnson, known as Ioka, suffered an unfortunate mental break that led to the murder-suicide of herself, her partner, and their 8-month-old child as the result of a conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Let's see. Fuck off!
Well, that's not as funny as I was expecting.
No. See, which is like, you expected the eclipse from Berserk to be funny?
Yeah, kinda.
Oh my god, this is how are you supposed to use these websites anymore, man?
You don't.
See.
Buy our snake oil! Buy our snake oil!
What the fuck? I thought they were gonna... What is this bullshit? I thought they were gonna pull up the stories of what this woman did. Whatever. So, apparently this woman, like, she stabbed her partner or something, and then, like, threw two of her kids out onto the highway at, like, highway speeds, but her toddler survived and managed to go get help, and she just, like, drove into a fucking wall. And I don't know how that connects to the eclipse.
Yeah, I don't understand. I also don't understand why that connects to anything she just said.
I don't either. That was just a very weird thing that I stumbled upon. Browsing X. Haha, what a name, right?
Oh yeah, did you see that video of Elon Musk posing on like some kind of red carpet, but he was just doing like a bunch of video game emotes?
Yeah. Did you see how poorly fitted his tuxedo was in that?
He looked like a goober.
He looked like his mom dressed him up.
Yeah. He looked like a middle schooler.
With like a Kmart tuxedo.
He was way too excited to be there, too. He was like, look, they're looking at me!
Did you see that video, or those photos of him going to, like, the Starfield release party? And, like, everyone there was really uncomfortable by him because he wasn't invited?
No, that's fucking hilarious, though.
Todd Howard is sitting next to him, like... like, looking off into the distance, like, how do I get this guy out of here?
Well, listen, Mr. Musk, it's been great having you here, but, you know, this is just for developers, so if you could
Hey, Mr. Musk, you're like a racist piece of shit and no one here likes you. Can you leave?
I sincerely doubt Todd Howard is much better.
They don't have the balls to do that.
I don't know much about Todd Howard in general, but I doubt he's better. He doesn't strike me as the type of dude to...
Todd Howard just makes bad games. That doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Consistently makes bad games. Let's be clear here.
Let's see. This is this gentleman here is a Fox News host. He went on some podcast that doesn't get nearly as many views as ours, being perfectly real. No, you'd be surprised to learn that they're way bigger than us.
I'm not surprised.
But this gentleman went on Fox and had some things to say about raising the minimum wage for McDonald's workers. Keep in mind, this dude's a multi-millionaire.
I wonder what he's going to say.
He gets basic math wrong multiple times during it, so we'll pay attention to that.
Yes!
If you're making $20 an hour to work at a fast food restaurant, all right, is that six figures? Are you making no?
This. Whoa! Is that six figures? He couldn't double check that like before spouting that off.
Dum-dum.
Keep in mind, they're about to correct him here at least, but $20 an hour is about 40 grand a year. That's fucking nothing. 45. Could you imagine this fucking this little trust fund nepo baby ass motherfucker being given only 40 grand for a month?
You'd blow through it instantly.
He would have probably literally have a brain aneurysm upon hearing that number.
Yeah, he would blow it immediately and then beg his friends and family for help.
50 is just 2 exits and add a few zeros.
Okay, so
40K a year.
Okay,
full time.
40K a year.
40K, we were just talking about that.
Shut the fuck up.
$100,000 as a family.
Sure.
Both working at McDonald's?
80 grand.
That is okay. That's crazy. That is crazy, because that's.
So, he's saying. What did he say here? He's saying that. Say that you're both working at McDonald's. That means you're bringing home 80 grand a year. That's not a fucking lot to begin with.
No, that is pennies, man.
Sure. Both working at McDonald's?
80 grand.
That is okay. That's crazy. That is crazy, because that job really doesn't require much. So it's inflated.
You go get a job there, then, cocksucker.
It requires more than I think you think it does.
And the Happy Meal.
It requires more than what this guy is capable of.
What is he? Where does he think the food comes from?
He probably literally believes burgers grow in bushes or something.
Do you think they just come fully assembled, frozen, and you just put it in the microwave and then it's done? They still have to cook the shit.
Imagine making one of these pampered lily white ass motherfuckers try to work a rush hour fucking fast food job.
No.
They would probably literally just hold their head under in the grease fryer until they died.
Dude, one time I went to Jack in the Box, and it was late at night, but this guy was apparently the only one working there, and, we pulled up, and we were waiting in line for, a while, a long while, and the guy was outside on, a smoke break, and... people were honking at him and yelling at him and stuff, and he was like, "Look, guys, I'm on my break. I haven't gotten a break in hours. I'm the only one here. I'm just taking a break. You guys can go somewhere else if you want to, but I'm taking a break." And a woman leaned out of her car and said, "Get in there and make the fries." And then he did. He went back in there and started making food. And we got up to the window. I was just like, "Damn, dude, I'm sorry. Are you all right?" And he's like, I'm alive." I was like, "That doesn't answer my question at all."
You can be alive and be completely not all right.
He clearly was not all right.
I would have told that fat bitch to go fuck herself. Be mad at my managers for not hiring more people. Jack in the Box is weirdly late at night, or busy late at night, too.
Yeah, because they have awesome curly fries, and that's like
They're-
perfect stoner food. And they had that like midnight munchie box. That was unfair, man.
They also have those disgusting tacos that people say they like for some reason.
Oh yeah, those are
cat food in fucking moist tortilla chips.
They are
suck so
repulsive.
bad.
They are repulsive, but for whatever reason, if you get them at the right not state of hunger, but like I guess munchie level.
Food
They
sluttiness.
Yeah,
where you're willing
exactly.
to take anything.
That's the one. That's the one. If you're just enough of a whore, they hit just right.
I've definitely eaten them to where I'm like, this actually doesn't taste bad, but I know it's going to make me cough up fucking bile later, so I'm not going to eat any more of these.
I have never eaten one and had my stomach not immediately go like, what the fuck are you doing?
Hey.
So it's inflating the entire, labor sector
And the Happy Meal.
and the Happy Meal,
Unhappy, very unhappy.
which I'm very unhappy about.
Unhappy meal, which I'm very unhappy about. Did you know that they would only have to raise the price of just their quarter pounders by like less than 20 cents to raise their fucking to pay every McDonald's worker $20 an hour? That's all they would
Really?
have. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. So, and these guys are well aware of that and they know they're bullshitting.
Wow. That's fucking stupid.
I know, right? Isn't this, like, really obnoxious how easy this problem is to solve?
What a bunch of pieces of shit.
And this guy's sitting here like, if they're paid more, you're gonna have to, like, pay more for... How is that an argument to people to begin with? It's like, I'm cool with that. Why would I be against these people that are making this product for me being able to live comfortably, you piece of shit?
Yeah, having to pay like an extra 20 cents for them to make a living wage. Why would I care? It's not like I'm getting McDonald's every day.
These companies always pretend like the costs of that are way more, but the actual reason is that they just want to keep that money for themselves.
Yeah, I just heard a bunch of stuff on Instagram today and yesterday talking about how they've been just adding like lead in place of cinnamon in certain products. So like
That's cool.
I guarantee, yeah. In like the case I heard was like those like pouches full of applesauce.
Oh yeah, I've heard that you shouldn't be eating applesauce
Lead.
for like a while. Yeah,
Yeah, there's lead in that.
that's so much easier to procure than make people wait a little longer for their applesauce.
I don't know why they can't just add cinnamon. I feel like the pennies that you're saving on cinnamon is not worth the generations of brain rot you're creating by feeding people lead.
People were making fun of the boomers and claiming, haha, you guys got lead, we got microplastics. And it's like, no, we've got both.
Yeah, we still got lead. They're just doing it on purpose.
We're gonna get the fucking hormone problems of the microplastics and then the brain degradation of the lead.
And the mercury, because Mr. Musk is pumping it into our atmosphere.
Fuck yes.
Because he's an idiot.
Every single time one of these things come in, they bring up that, like, oh, well, this'll, if they pay their workers more, it's gonna make, like, things cost more for you. That's why you have to tip these workers. So that the business doesn't have to do it. It's like, but I'm still paying more than that. Than I should be. Because I'm tipping them.
Yeah, why not
I'm not saving money in that fucking arrangement.
Yeah, why not just change the price rather than
forcing me to cover for it anyway?
Yeah, what difference does it make to me?
At that point, you're just keeping the prices on your fucking menu artificially low.
Yeah, that's stupid.
See... That's pretty much the end of that story. Jesse Waters is a cunt and he can't do math, and he's also richer than any of you will ever be put together.
We should probably save the rest of these.
See... Yeah, it looks like, we probably only got, like, 20 or 30 more minutes of recording, so we could thug it out, but, yeah, I think, I wouldn't mind holding out.
4:10. I ain't thugging shit.
You have no fucking drive, and it's disgusting.
You don't have drive.
Trump has been messaging me a lot about that lately.
Levi's a crybaby poo-poo pants.
Listen, Jason, you're doing great, but that guy Levi, he's dragging you down. He's dragging you down, I just gotta say. But you want to keep him on, apparently. That's okay.
I don't like the way he moves around while he's recording. It makes it sound like there's a bunch of people in the room. It's confusing. It scares me a little bit.
It scares me. It makes me pee-pee my pants.
Okay, bye.
It's not bye yet. We'll see them again in a couple seconds.